got some strong potential here because they have both Nature's Prophet and the Chen, so plenty of minions to basically bust down those towers. Now, Weaver. In this case, it really begs the question, is it an offlane Weaver or is it a primary farmer Weaver? Either one can work. How are we going on this place? Is that up and running?
Mousesports turn to ban.
Yeah, well, so far, I mean, Mousesports, we've got the Nyx, Puck, and Shadow Demon and Weaver. Right now, the question is whether or not Weaver is going to offlane or if he's going to take, because I mean, they could even safe lane Weaver and then try and get aggressive, because they could last pick Mirana, and suddenly you've got Shadow Demon, Mirana, and Nyx Assassin, and that would just ruin Anti-Mage's day. And sure, he's got a blink, but you can basically make him spawn into arrows with the disruption, and there's just no chance to even get clear with that. And with Chen in the jungle, like, he's only got Rubik to defend him. That would be really, really painful for them to try and deal with, and I honestly don't really see them doing that well against it. And of course, if you take the offensive Tron, that would have then allowed them to put pressure on mid. EG, on the other hand, they're looking for their mid at the moment. I assume Nature's Prophet's probably likely to wind up as a suicide solo. So right now they're just looking for their mid, although Mousesports are actually banning out both. They're banned the Bounty Hunter as well. That's an interest. I really feel like if EG had picked the Bounty Hunter, I don't really see like they'd have enough team fight or even sustain in these fights. Even if just like firepower in the early fights, like the 20-minute mark, Nature's Prophet doesn't have any offer. Chen is very reliant on the creeps, and like Rubik, he's got a good disable, but he doesn't have a lot of damage to dish out. Anti-Mage obviously wants to spend a lot more time farming than actually participating, so I think the Bounty Hunter would have been a questionable choice there. But anyway.
So, looking on into this, it looks like Fear's been able to pick up the carry that he really, really enjoys, and so that's going to be very beneficial for him, but in turn, Mousesports have gotten some great heroes to go up against it. The physical damage from Geminate is enough to bring down Anti-Mage fairly quickly if he doesn't have enough tank going for him, and yeah, he also has the Shadow Demon up against him to kind of give 2 illusions to the opposition, so that's a pretty solid counter. A little bit of mana burn composition there as well, but as far as how it breaks down to the mid-game, it really kind of depends on the rotations of Puck and how often he's going to be ganking on the runes, and that's going to be kind of the big thing to look into, is how active he is there, because EG right now, they have some rune control with the Nature's Prophet being able to teleport on top of them, but if he's occupied on a lane, he's not going to be able to accomplish that too much. So right now, Mousesports get a lot of control, but as you were saying, that combination, the Mirana with the Shadow Demon is now on the field, and that's going to be very devastating no matter who it flies on into.
Yeah, I thought this might happen, and there we go. They've got a really strong offensive trying to punish EG, and EG suddenly find, because I mean they've got a last pick of mid. They've got to try and pick, unless they want to do something really, really old school. I mean, this would be weird as hell. But if they wanted to try and get Anti-Mage away from that offensive Tron, away from the Mirana Shadow Demon combo, they could try and run an old school dual mid. Like we used to all the time. This was something that used to be played a lot more frequently, like a couple of years ago. They do stuff like dual mids. You'd have stuff like you'd throw in stuff like the Lich of the Anti-Mage in mid. However, we have not seen that for a long time, and it would be sort of a last act of desperation to get them away from the offensive trial. In this case, though, EG with Bamboo, they're going to grab up the Broodmother. Now, this is actually, like, Weaver is going to struggle to stop his tower from going down against, oh, wait a minute, is that, I guess, I mean, Broodmother's a hero that can work the mid lane, but are they actually going to put Nature's Prophet mid and then move Broodmother to the suicide lane?
Yeah, the Broodmother definitely is going to be the offlane here. I mean, that or, I mean, they can't really go aggressive with Anti-Mage and Chen, so yeah, it's going to have to be a defensive lane of Anti-Mage, Chen, and Rubik on the bot lane, and in the jungle. Nature's Prophet will be in the mid, and Broodmother will be up top. Bamboo's going to pick that up there. As far as who he's going to be up against, though, I guess you're looking at a 1v1 matchup between him and Black, unless they rotate Fata up there, which I think might be better. I don't know. The Shikuchi is actually pretty mana efficient for its AoE magic damage potential, but it isn't. You don't want to waste all your mana just trying to burn through Spider Links, so it's possible they could rotate Fata up there to go for the orb, but no, they're going to go with the tried and true status quo and just try to make that work for them. Black is going to go up on the top lane there, and Fata going to hang out on the mid lane. So we'll see that kind of come into play later on, but it looks like Mambo is going to get pretty aggressive up there, rushing up a Soul Ring recipe, and as soon as that comes on out, it's going to be tough for Weaver to sustain.
Yeah, I mean, this is like classic old school Broodmother, where they just go straight for that Soul Ring, get the recipe out straight away, and just assemble it off the side lane. I think, in all honesty, if worst comes to worst, like Weaver's pretty difficult for a Broodmother to try and take out, so I feel like they'll probably just say, all right, well, you might get the first couple of towers, but we're just going to let Broodmother get up there, sort of get her farm rolling, because this is the thing, like, she doesn't really bring a lot to the team fights. Like, she pushes tower, she puts a lot of pressure on, but at the same time, Mousesports might go, well, you know what, you can put pressure up there, we'll counter with our own pressure on the bottom lane, and just make sure anti-mage never gets rolling for the, the first 20 minutes or so, and just really make it hard for Fear to do anything. And they do that, like invade the jungle, make it hard for Chen to do it. Like they'll just basically pressure bottom lane, pressure the jungle, pressure the mid. If they can do that, they just like, well, sure, Bambo gets out of control, but what the hell? We're going to put all these 3 heroes behind really hard, and then just wait for Puck to get. Because once Puck picks up his Blink Dagger, then like Broodmother's going to be careful because with a dust, she could quite easily get Dream Called and taken out. And they can just force her out of that jungle. So I think they'll probably just say, you know what, Broodmother, you can have the first 15 minutes or so to do your own thing. You can get out of control if we need it, but it's not going to be that bad. I mean, look at this. They're already screwing with Chen. Beaters has a camp blocked off already, and he doesn't have counter wards on him. Do they have one? Rubik's got him. There we go.
Yep. So, yeah, we're going to be seeing a very aggressive position from Bambo. He's actually, like, he's been provided 1 tango from Beaters. And I was actually surprised he didn't go for a Stout Shield, but because he is up against the Gemini attack right clicks. But he's, first of all, he's playing around quite a bit. Actually, an interesting little move. Change up the creep equilibrium by manipulating the creep aggro while still dodging tower attacks. That's a pretty nice little deal. But yeah, the big thing here is Bambo expects to get a soul ring before Black's Gemini attack right clicks start harassing him too extensively. So he's actually going to feel pretty confident up here in this position. And there's no way that Mousesports can rotate early. They're focused too hard on their aggressive tri lane. Vata is not going to be level 6. And yeah, they're just going to be holding the status quo for quite some time. So I actually think this is going to work really well for EG in limiting how much Black can accomplish, because that Soul Ring Broodmother, she is very difficult to deal with. But as you were commenting on a little bit, the wards are up and kicking against Chen. That is a little bit more difficult. This is gonna block off that medium camp there. And fortunately for them, they did, of course, open up the western one here and pick up a Centaur. So still got some good, actually good RNG on the creeps. Got 2 Centaurs in a row, so not too shabby. But yeah, from here, they're going to have to try to put more pressure on the lane if they're going to get any farm on Fear.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, of course, Rubik is not really able to have much impact either. Like, he's sure they've let this camp is online from the pool camp's online, but it's not a big deal because they're like, Mousesports, like, you know what, go and try and pull it. See what happens. You try and pull it, we'll come over there and fight you and take the farm anyway. And obviously, with the combo they've got, it's really likely they can pick him off very easily. I think pretty much right now, it's getting, like, Mousesports are just it's gonna just sit like this for the moment. They might be able to find a kill or two, but for the most part, Jo and Fear are gonna be really, really careful about what they do here. They're just gonna try and not get themselves killed. We're gonna see this is probably what Mousesports need to do, though. Try and clear out the Observer ward here. They might figure out there's a ward here, but this ward definitely really, really smart from EG. It's giving them vision and making sure that they don't lose Demon to a bad rotation from Mousesports. Because this is, of course, a strength of putting your supports in aggressive trial. The fact it's a lot easier to gank that solo mid, and it really leaves Demon exposed. But he's just going to bottle up in a regeneration rune there and head back to mid. Of course, this is going to give Puck a free wave here for the most part. But I feel like at the moment, like this is probably like normally Nature's Prophet pretty good in a 1v1 situation, but against Puck with the double nukes, Puck can blow through his treants fairly easily, so he's going to be careful about it. And there we go. They try for the pull. However, the rotation there from Mousesports is kind of slow. I don't think they're actually expecting that one to come off because they do have a blocking ward down.
Up on top, Beta is wasting a lot of time here. He rotated, smoked all the way up to the top lane, even used a dust to detect Black, but the Shikuchi just made him too quick, and there was no way for them to actually lock him down. So now Black, he is going to walk right into Beta's, but he's actually just going to harass Beta's back. Not necessarily get a kill because Shikuchi is a longer cooldown, but, I mean, yeah, he has dropped extremely low. He's going to die for the first blood. He actually is going to get it very effectively here. That's going to be cash for him. And Shikuchi coming up in 3 seconds. The Centaur doesn't have Stomp available. This might be a turnaround for a double kill.
Wow.
That's Black going ahead and just picking up 2 kills all by himself in the first 3 minutes of the game. That is amazing, but also a bit of a misplay from EG. They had no way to lock him down. The Dust was on cooldown at the time, and the Centaur is such a short range neutral that they had to realize that they really didn't have any chance of bringing him down without at least 1 casualty.
He's an interesting choice from Bambo. He's actually deviated from the normal build, which is Rush, Soul Ring, ASAP. He's actually gone, you know what? I want an Orb of Venom. And he's picked that up for the additional harass there on Weaver. He's figured, you know, I can just right-click this guy a bit every now and then, because of course he can just dance around in there. Because, like, the majority of the wards, and, like, obviously, with the Aggressive Tron, of course, Mousesports, they're going to be a little bit light on their supportive, like, wards and stuff like that. They're not going to have a lot of extra cash And they're going to spend most of it to try and help out, take out this bottom. Uh-oh, Jared's been spotted up, though. He might, if he's unlucky, to walk past his cannon. For the moment, he has not been spotted. Cinderon's going to get away here. Actually going to keep chasing him. Just scouting him out. He's got this invisibility room for another good 30 seconds. I think they're just hoping that he comes close enough for Paz to move in and get disruption off against.
Yeah, or just Impale Arrow. They could time that pretty well if they can actually get Mirana in the right position. But right now, Koikoa just farming the creeps, trying to act like nothing's going on. And it seems like that actually is the case because now Jo's far enough south that there's not too much concern against him. But yeah, as far as that item build-up, I actually completely disagree. If you're going to rush up a Soul Ring recipe, then you want to build that up as quickly as possible. He didn't pick up a Stout Shield, so he can't tank hits from Weaver. And the Orb of Venom, he only got a couple more pot shots on him as a result of it. I really don't think they gained much from the Orb of Venom at that prior to the Soul Ring, when he could have just rushed up the Soul Ring and had used his continuous sustain to do what he's trying to do now, which is spam out those Spider Lights and do a lot of harassment and tower pressure.
Yeah, I want to point out that Koikoa is farming extremely well. Like, it's difficult to farm with Mirana because of her crappy damage, but she's picked up the early phase boots here, and she's actually on 33 and 10. Like, she's doing extremely well in comparison. Like, if anything, sure, they're not getting kills here, but they are completely and utterly stymieing Fear. Fear is in pretty much, this is essentially what you normally see from a suicide side lurking in trees just for experience. He's on 6 last hits. He's got absolutely nothing. And this is going to allow, if you guys remember back to last year when Absolute Legends were on their wind-up for the TI2, you'd see Bleak would get massively, and I mean massively farm runners, and he would actually go toe-to-toe in the late game with super farm anti-mage just because he would get that really, really quick lead in terms of farm. And in this case, this is an opportunity. Like, Koikoa could definitely hit that kind of scaling level just by having a sheer amount of gold lead in the early game. As we see a crash here from Fatta, I think.
Yep.
Actually, no, it's Koikoa crashed. He's back in now.
So, he's still in a good position. I'm just saying his CS is very impressive. He's maxing his arrow for the synergy and the combo, so there's still a ton of kill potential if there is ever a misstep by Fear. He's getting experience, which is nice for him, but looks like Paz was checking out that area, but didn't actually catch sight of him. The big thing here, though, is how the other lanes are doing as well. Demon has picked up a regen rune, so that's kind of nice for him. But as a whole, I would say the big action is up top. Black is going to pop off his ultimate, and is going to be able to maybe send out one more Geminate to bring down Bambo, but he didn't hit with the Shiguchi, so he's just going to fall back defensively. And that's one thing about Broodmother is the power of that HP regen. Now 8 passive regen, Black forcing to use the Tranquil Boots, and Bambo doesn't have to go for any item of the sort. So in this position here, if Black doesn't get a sentry soon, he's going to be forced off the lane, despite having gotten that double kill earlier.
Yeah, I also want to point, Beatty's back up here as well. Still got a dust on him. We'll pick up another Hellbear. Also, I also want to make a point that from Fear, very wise choice in terms of skilling what his skill choice. He's actually not leveled his mana break, and that's just because Shadow Demon's such a pain. But Bambo, now I think Bambo's baiting. Oh, no, Bambo decides to back off here. He's going to keep going, actually. Going to keep walking past. I think he was hoping that Black would dive at him, and then Beatties would throw out the dust. Here we go. Beatties going to get this test down. Clap as well. There we go. That was a much-needed kill.
Yeah, and now they can actually transition this into a push. They don't have a Bastion or anything, but they have a lot of spiders. They have the Hellbear who can take up a few hits. Bambo has Soul Ring up in 3 seconds. They can take a lot of HP off of this tower very, very quickly. Cinderin rotating up to see what he can do about it, but every second that support is not down bottom, that's time where Fear can just try to survive down on the bot lane.
I actually kind of I completely agree with the rotation. They don't need 3 heroes here anymore. Fear has been so heavily neutered. Like, he's just so screwed here as they get a kill. Puck actually rotates up top, picks up a kill there. A good move from him. But Fear, like, he has been so badly screwed over. They can quite easily keep him suppressed with just 2. Like, the threat of the arrow alone with the disruption, I think is enough to keep him stuck, because they've got level 2 Soul Catcher on top of that. And at any point, like, they really need to shut him down, Puck can head down there now as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah. I feel like the choice from Cinderin to rotate and just make sure this tower stays for at least a couple of more minutes is a really good choice there from Mousesports.
Yeah, because Fear's still not going to find any CS. Like, he's going to get a couple neutrals here. Not a big deal. Not changing too much here. Just Cinder in a bad spot. He's going to pop off the Carapace with the... either with the Spiderlings. Yeah, most likely. Going to try to Carapace the Spiderlings right here. Bambo going for it, though. No, not going to find the opportunity. And knows it would probably hurt him more than help him in that situation.
They've actually moved Rubik. Rubik's actually going to go and sit in mid for a bit. And this, again, I think EG making a smart choice there. And they know they need to get some of these supports leveled up, get them a bit of money. And Nature's Prophet doesn't need to be in this mid lane. He can farm wherever the hell he pleases. So just moved him into the jungle because Beaters, of course, has been roaming around all over the map. But here's the thing. Like, Beaters has not really been... Like, Beaters, of course, getting picked off early, kind of painful for him as well. Also been using up smokes and stuff like that. they've just really not been given a lot of room here to work with, especially with the part of their jungle being shut down on top of that. So now giving Jao a bit of room to pick up some money for the early wards, as well as supportive items, I think it's a smart move. Beaters is working towards a mech, though. He has picked up the buckler.
So, yeah, I mean, he will be able to provide his entire team a little bit more sustainability in the big 5v5 engagements, but for right now, it's just like, it's kind of a back and forth. And one great thing about Bambo's position up top is that he did get to force back Cinder, and he didn't get a kill on him, but just the Spiderlings and the threat of that, he was forced to use a TP scroll, and now has to walk all the way back to base. So that is experience time that Nyx isn't getting Vendetta, which is a really, really big deal for keeping your team as a whole alive. So that's the two big defensive things. Building up the mech as fast as possible. Bottom lane, going to see damage coming in on pause. He does get the defensive disrupt, so he won't be slowed on down. There's going to be an arrow coming out from Jo. Is he going to get on out of here? No, the test of faith rolls pretty high and is going to be enough for actually Fear to clean up the last hit. However, of course, Rubik does trade it up 1-for-1, bringing down Jo himself. Still, getting that farm on Fear, I mean, he had absolutely nothing prior to that kill, so at least getting that little boost is going to put him a few steps in the right direction.
See him power up the top lane. Bambo now getting spotted up. Oh dear, this could be bad for him. Although actually no, he's got the speed. He should actually be able to get clear here. He'll manage to sneak out. However, Demon may actually go down here. He's got a haste rune though. He's managed to snaps the core. Doesn't matter though. He will be cleaned up in the end by a maxed out Waning Rift. They have actually decided to max Waning Rift ahead of the Illusory Orb.
Yep. Well, still, the Fada committed the coil, and they lost the Tier 1 tower. Demon was able to get the last hit on that. So, actually, a fine trade. And, of course, wanted to get out of that alive, but not so much. Either way, they bring down the tower, and Bambo will continue to stalk up on the lane. Now, this opens up the jungle a little bit, and that means that the supports really can't relent. Like, Shadow Demon can stay down bottom, but everybody else has to put a lot of pressure up top, because otherwise this kind of stuff is going to happen where Cinderin just gets harassed on down. He doesn't have a TP scroll this time. This could be actually pretty bad. Now, Bambo isn't going to pop off the Spiderlings on him, but he's just going to bring him low enough that a couple right clicks will do the job anyways. And now they're going to put pressure on Black.
I honestly feel that's the exact reason they don't want to bring in the supports, because there's just nothing they can really do. Like, bring Puck up here to kill Bambo, because he can manage that, but the supports are just too easy for Bambo to kill himself. Although, actually, Bambo may find himself in a bad position there. No, manages to circle around before the invis wears off. But, I mean, yeah, just exactly what happened to Syndra there. It's like the reason you don't want to be bringing him up unless you're specifically coming with a group to kill him.
Yeah.
Because it's just too easy for them to harass and screw him over. And just because if they work together, like if he goes and rolls with pass, they can go and find kills, they can pressure Chen, they can really make his day miserable instead. Okay. Rather than just giving away kills up the top lane. Because, I mean, the thing is, like, it's Broodmother. You're not going to stop her unless you pick up, like, a 10, 15-minute gem. That's the only way that they're going to force her out of the top area. Meanwhile, though, bottom lane, they're looking for the kill. Arrow, is it going to come in? Yes, there we go. They're going to launch it. Lands it there. Fear, he's skilled up a level in Mana Break, and he will regret that as Syndra lands a stun as well. And there we go. This is what I mean. Like, there's no real point putting Syndra in the top lane. Just go and kill Fear.
Sure. Well, I kind of feel like if there was a mana on Syndra to stun, that they could have, him combined with the Weaver, Black could have gone and gotten a kill on him through just a Sybil Dust, but they need to be able to pin him down with the stuns, and just waiting around that area without enough mana for Impale, it's not going to be helping anybody. So yeah, better time served down on bottom, and we're going to see this Tier 1 tower drop very, very quickly with the Siege Creep. Though, this Wrath of Nature might keep it now. Koikova is going to try to finish it off. Fortification comes on out, but I don't think that Demon can finish it. He's going to try to go for a TP, A-click Q, but Mirana's right click is the one to finish the job. So nicely done by Koikova, and securing a lot of cash for the team.
Because, I mean, if we examine, like, Broodmother's entire job is to make you waste as much time as possible up at the top line dicking around. So every time you rotate people up there to basically fight her, the longer they spend up there, like, the worse off it is. But the whole point is, you know, that you spend time up there instead of doing exactly what Mousesports did, which is go down bottom lane, kill Fear, take his tower, and make things impossible for him. Like, right now, this is a 12-minute anti-mage. He's got boots and a health ring. Yeah. And pretty much no money in the bank.
I think it's a balance.
A couple of towers. I mean, sure you might be losing a couple of towers, but given the choice, like, what are you more scared of, Broodmother or Fear on his anti-mage getting 700 GPM?
Dust comes out on Bambo. They get the Demonic Purge. This is what they needed. They just need some kind of lockdown to bring down Bambo, and they're going to be able to finish him off. Shadow Demon getting the last hit, and of course, Beatas not being able to run another with only the brown boots is going to get dropped down as well, and cleaning up his creeps. It's going to be easy money for them. So I really think that it's a balance. I think that it's coordinated. When they have the potential to kill, go and kill Brood, and when they have otherwise they're just going to be zoning. And I think that's perfectly fine to do a little bit of both here and there, and make sure that they have a gradual amount of lockdown. Because when you look at it, a Shadow Demon, a Mirana, a Nyx, any of them get Orchided or something like that by Broodmother, then they're going to be completely screwed, especially when that incap starts getting ranked up. So I think they're both a significant threat, but they had the right priorities. Mousesports pressure Fear, make sure he doesn't get any early farms, so that 14 minutes in, he's still just sitting on a ring of health, and then they can go in and start making their transitions with the
Oh, look at that arrow. Oh, Joe doesn't quite walk into it. That was a pretty big shot in mid. That, you know, he could have definitely walked in there. He was heading towards it. He managed to escape. But no, I agree. Yeah, like, definitely moderated. Obviously, gank Broodmother when you can, but I agree with the majority of their choice has been to go down bottom and really just hurt Fear. And like right now, they're invading the jungle. Cinderen's got his ult now too. Vendetta going to move in, and this is quite possibly another dead anti-mage, as he's going to have this set up. There's the Vendetta. Doesn't. Oh, should have opened with a stun. Greedy to go for the Vendetta first.
Yeah, I mean, got the distance, got the proximity, but going for that right click, it was plenty of time for Fear to blink out, and that means that you cannot connect with the arrow. So if Mirana was a little bit further away, got the arrow, then it would have worked out okay, but in this position here, not very fortunate for them. Meanwhile, in top lane, the action continues. We see popping off the time lapse. If Bambo had Dust right now, he could actually go in with as soon as Shikushi does expire, but actually is going to try to put out a little bit of pressure. Black's going to be forced back off the lane. He will be able to Tranquil, but he's not farming nearly as well as he would prefer to. Right now, 101 CS. That's great for Black, but it could be so much better. Fortunately, in the context of Anti-Mage not doing too hot, they're still doing alright. Jo does get the lift off, though, and Black doesn't have that time lapse, so he is going to get dropped down here. I mean,
Fear will go down as well in the mid lane as well, getting picked up towards the jungle. As they jump on top of them, they do lose Cinder in the meantime as well. Unfortunately, Anti-Mage managing to help pick up a kill on him, but he will go down in return. Fatter just causing some serious pain. This Blink Dagger is going to give him so much mobility, and this is really, Anti-Mage needs to be careful now, even as well. Bambo needs to be careful as well, because they can jump him with that Blink, that Waning Rift, and Mirana going to head top, just help clean up a bunch of Spylings and prevent the tier 3 from being pushed. So Shadow Demon Pass packing a lot of detection there. Dust, he's got Smoke as well, just to help gank, and of course the two wards as well. Syndra now, I think he knows somebody's around here.
Yeah. They saw him when he was farming up the camp, and now the Central Ward goes down. They get the stun out. Gonna go for the arrow here, and it will not. Obviously, there's a lot of spiders trying to avoid it. If they don't get the demonic purge off, he's gonna get out, but they do, of course, get that purge. And Bambo just trying to hide. He is dusted up, the Hand of God, but he walked right underneath a Sentry Ward. Is he actually gonna survive? No. The last right click does connect. It does land true, and able to seal his fate there. So, yeah, nicely done. Successful gank, but Nature Prophet.
Wrath of Nature. Wrath of Nature. This ward paying dividends. Wrath of Nature picking off poor old Mirana there.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate, but they commit a lot of. That's the one thing, is they commit so many resources. They spend a lot of time, and then it ends up being a 1-for-1, and Prophet gets that kill. Buy up a Shadow Blade. So now there's just so many nuisances on the board. Demon's going to be split pushing one lane, and we're going to see the Broodmother on the other. So Bambo and Demon together are going to be just a work of frustration. I mean, we're talking about the ultimate not fun lineup, and right now they're dealing with 2 split pushers and an Anti-Mage. Really, there's no great options. Mousesports have been playing it sublimely so far, but it's been really, really difficult, and it's going to get even worse.
I mean, they've got to be careful, obviously. They can try and split push, but yeah. Broodmother obviously was really difficult for them to take down, but Nature's Prophet needs to be a lot more careful. Even the Shadow Blade, obviously they're bringing, they've got tons of detection, so his Shadow Blade is no guarantee he gets away, and when you're up against Nyx, when you're up against Mirana, Moonlight Shadow, and Puck with his Blink Dagger, that gives him a lot of opportunities to jump you. As you see Puck rolling around with the Visibility Rune in the enemy jungle, along with Nyx. However, they're walking past a pair of Revelation wards, so they've been spotted up. They know what's up.
Mm-hmm. Good placement by the supports, and they're actually going to be able to de-ward it as well. The ping comes out immediately. Just really, really good ward positioning. They are not going to let the enemy walk around their jungle. It's just a full map control.
But the problem is, every time they want to get aggressive, they find themselves being drawn back to this top lane, because Bambo keeps causing so many problems up here. Speaking of which, Syndra may be in some trouble again.
Yeah, gonna at least be harassed down by these spiders. He, again, can carapace all he wants, but it's not actually gonna make them any less of a factor. So without any mana, he's essentially just gonna have to walk all the way back to base. No kill potential, but certainly doesn't want to just run out to lane, cast 2 spells, and walk back. That's just unfortunately how it has to be.
Mirana almost has enough for Ultimate Orb as well. Well on her way towards the Mantis Style. She'll get it picked up soon. She needs to be careful. Beat his
double Dream Coil in mid. Demon's going to get dropped down. Jo does pop off. his Shikuchi, but it's not going to be enough as they dust it to make sure the Shadow Blade wouldn't connect, and in this case, they also negate that Shikuchi's invisibility. So they take 2 heroes, they're going to take the mid-tier 1 as well.
And that's exactly what they need. Just put on this pressure, take these towers. If they can start busting down more of these towers, it's really going to give them a good lead. However, Fear, bottom lane, along with Chen, going to put pressure on the tier 1 bottom. In fact, Nyx is porting there to assist right now. There's a horde of Spinelings in the top lane though, that might actually be able to do some serious damage to tier 3 if they're not careful. Synderen has got Vendetta up. Really needs a bit more cash though. He really, really wants to get his Arcanes online because right now he's hurting for a mana pool.
Big gem pickup from Fata. It's gone out on the courier, and they're going to be able to actually deal with this menace. I mean, essentially, you got a frequently Shikuchiing Rubik, you've got a Shadow Blading Nature Prophet, you've got the webbed up Broodmother, all of these countered out, as well as the very active warding from Evil Geniuses. Ward all you want, but when the gem comes on out to play and they can get some control with a single good fight, then suddenly you lose all that. So the Gem of True Sight is going to play a big part in the near future. And along with that, Fata, perfect time since his Dream Coil is coming right back on off cooldown. He's going to be able to initiate and essentially guarantee a kill unless it's a full 5v5.
There we go. The Lincoln's being picked up by Weaver along with the Orchid being finished by Broodmother there. So 20-minute Orchid, 20-minute Lincolns. However, group up here from EG, they are moving through the mid lane. Some pings being made on Broodmother's position. I don't think they're actually going to manage to go after her though. For the most part, I heard Puck.
Vendetta stolen by Rubik. Vendetta up on Jo.
That's a good chance, definitely a good spell for him. Anything that gives him ability is really strong. However, Black does have the Lincoln, so I don't know if Jo can actually do much to him there. However, Broodmother is nearby as well. Actually, with the Orchid, oh no, it bounces, and now Jo is being turned on. He will be finished off. Black should be able to take that. Hand of God, not going to fix the issue. Too many heroes there for him.
That was a mistake.
To be fair, I mean they didn't really have the best vision. I don't know if I guess they don't know that Weaver had Lincolns there because I'm surprised. There was no Orchid on him, and there was no lift. Like that should have been bounced by the Fade Bolt.
Either way, it's just not a position you want to break on out of, and he didn't realize how deep he really was in. So yeah, as a Rubik player, you pick up the spell, you want to use it, but in that case, not the best usage of that ability, and as a result, he does get dropped down. Now, the kill advantage is significantly in Mouse's favor, 13-7, and most of those are on very core heroes. I mean, 6 for Weaver, 3 for Mirana, and 2 for Puck. It all adds up very, very nice and neat, so that Mousesports are getting the gold on the heroes they want, and they're going to be able to do a lot. You're already talking about that kind of farmed up carry Mirana. We already see the Manta-style phase boots doing work, and that's a lot of right-click damage you can bring on in, as well as the potential to dodge out a couple key abilities. So, as a whole, really, really nice pickup, and Koikwa smoking up down bottom alongside his allies. They have Moonlight Shadow, but they're going to walk right over top of a ward. So, the big thing here... Oh, actually, Koikwa breaks on out, everybody else sneaks on by. Unless they're looking at the map, at that exact position, they still don't know about it, because it is a smoke.
As you can see, the port out there by Fear. Fear knows something's up. He gets the hell out. He's going to dodge out. Meanwhile, Bamba, again, this is a frustration here from Broodmother. She's pressuring. She's not coming to fight. She's not doing anything. This is her job. Just cause as much trouble. Make them waste time. Make them always TP up here to defend this tower. And she comes up here and chips away at it with the Spiderlings there. Mess at them. However, she's got some backup here. Now, Fear's also rocked up. I think he's here more for the farming the enemy jungle more than anything else because he knows his jungle is infested. He knows there's people all through that and he doesn't want to step foot in there. Got no vision in there anymore. So he's coming to the enemy jungle, figures it's safer, and he actually has Bambo's Spiderlings like scouting out ahead for him, as well as the web network. So oddly enough, the enemy jungle, safest place that Fear could be right now. Although Rubik also wandering around towards mid lane, just going to pick up the farm there, and Chen as well, just hanging out with Fear. But they may sacrifice their tier 2 bottom here if they don't rotate to defend it. Nyx Assassin, though, still has not managed to find the Arcanes. Has picked up a wand.
Oh, on top, Black got Orchided up. They popped up the Lincolns with just a simple Spiderlings, but he gets the time-lapse off anyways. Demon's rotation was not swift enough, and Black is actually going to be able to throw out some Swarm. They're going to pop off the Moonlight Shadow, and maybe look to initiate now. Fata not able to get it on in time. Everybody else just kind of walking about their business. But it was a good attempt. Definitely good to break off the Lincolns before the Orchid. Definitely, and could have brought some kill potential. But he's still just a little bit too tanky for Fear's lack of damage.
Yeah, unfortunately, Fear still with only level 2 mana break really has been hesitant to skill it up just because of the Shadow Demon. The disruption is so painful to play against if you max out your mana break early on. As you see, Puck jumps in on top of Bambo. Actually doesn't manage to land some of the damage there. Bambo now just going to teleport out. Will he make it? No, not quite. Shikuchi to finish. Black there has enough damage to bring him down.
That was B-Diz's Hand of God again, being just a little bit too slow. If it had come on through, he would have been healed up enough to survive that TP. And been able to get on out of there, but to get turned around on him.
Also should mention that Rubik stole Moonlight Shadow and tried to use that to save as well.
Shoot. Yeah, a lot of defensive global capability, but really, still, Broodmother's going to get dropped down. And she's not one to, like, defend a push. She's not one to, like, say, okay, we're under pressure here, respond to it. She wants to be where the enemies aren't. And so by losing this Tier 1 tower, they just open themselves up for a world of trouble. Either way, Fear's going to try to bring down the Tier 1 pretty quickly. But Cinderin down on bottom, going to try to thwart that with Vendetta. A little bit of harassment here, possibly. TP comes on in. Fata will come on through. They're going to start on Demon. They get the dust off, and they should be able to lock him down with just this right-click damage now.
Now, Anti-Mage actually, he's bought up. Fear bought up, and he grabbed a Vladimir's offering. This is an interesting choice. He's going to give himself, like, his teammate a nice aura. It's going to be help out with if they try to make some pushing, split pushing, that sort of stuff. Unfortunately, it's still around about 2,000 gold worth of investment that leaves him, again, very vulnerable. Like, he's still only got 960 health, level 1 spell shield. They could, like, if Puck jumps him, he could get dropped very quickly with the help of Nyx.
Yeah.
Like, and even Nyx can do some serious damage. Lands, like, combos with Mirana. Mirana lands an arrow. He's pretty much dead.
Yeah, there's still a lot of potential for him to get dropped down, but I like the Vlad's pickup overall. It is the best and most efficient defensive item he could go while still not deviating too far from his build. So essentially, he's just negating some Geminate and Vendetta right-click damage, and of course providing a very helpful pushing aura to Broodmother. So, yeah, it's not what he wanted. It definitely isn't the state of the game that he wants to be in, especially since he still can die very, very easily. But I think it's a decent call, considering he wasn't getting that Manta soon enough.
Also should mention, Black has got another 3.2k in the bank. We'll see if he can put that to use soon. Mirana herself has picked up an Eagle Song there. Probably going to grab up a Butterfly fairly soon. Just going to be farming those Ancients at the moment. But now, right now, we have EG making a fairly strong bid here for the top lane. I think, actually, no. I say that, but they've smoked up. I think they're actually hoping someone's going to try and jump Bambo and they're going to counter gank. In fact, there we go. They're looking for the Weaver. They're hoping Weaver's going to get aggressive and they're going to try and pick him off. Black could be in some serious trouble here. He's standing next to a ward as well. As we're going to see their bouncer link, because Orchid's going to come out in a second. There we go, silenced up, and now Black in a lot of trouble here. He should be finished off by this damage.
No!
No, managed to time-lapse, gets away. For the most part, I think he should be able to make this one. He's going to make good his escape.
And
no support
again,
whatsoever.
a late Hand of God brings down Fear. Like, this just has gone so poorly for EG. The Magic Wand gave him enough to survive through the Orchid's damage, because it's based on percent of the change in health, and with that, he was able to time-lapse away. They miss the kill, and they lose their hard carry. It's just not at all what they were looking for, especially when they committed so much damage. But Weaver is so survivable, as he's shown multiple times over. And for that reason, I think he's going to be picking up a Radiance. It's a late Radiance, but it'd be so darn good against Broodmother Spiderites.
Oh yeah, and of course they had an increased bounty too, so that's going to let him farm out like crazy. Also should mention that passes... Oh no, he just manages to buy the mech just in time before he gets picked off. Lucky result for him there, otherwise that would have set him back quite heavily, because he obviously does not have much room to farm. The Broodmother letting him know that that's still not his jungle, still belongs to Bambo. However, Mirana Koikova is farming very, very deep in enemy territory, pushing all the way to the tier 3 herself in the bottom lane. As Bambo going to make another... No, actually just bounces the link in there on Black for no apparent reason. Says, you know, I feel like using mana.
So in this position here, Mousesports just need a couple more core items to put themselves in just a full position. I mean, they already have the Scythe of Ice. Like you said, Koikwa going to have that Butterfly very shortly. And I really think that Weaver's going to be looking for that Rady. And if they get all three of those together, since they already do have the Scythe, they're going to be in a great spot. Bambo will pick off a few kills here and there, but it just doesn't seem sufficient when you're only picking off supports, even a support such as Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, he picks up a kill there.
Oh,
but
for Dezo.
Obviously... Who?
The Black actually went for the Desolator instead, so that's definitely a strong pickup. It will be really, really good against the Anti-Mage. Negates the Vladimir's benefit entirely and punches right through that. So I think it's great versus AM, okay versus Brood, since the Spider things are still annoying, but they can deal with that through Orb and Starfall and nonsense like that.
So it looks like they're actually going to try. EG are going to try and sneak a Roshan here. Anti-Mage blinks on in, Demon teleports in, tries to give them some minions there to tank the damage. However, meanwhile on the jungle, Chen gets picked off by Fatta, as well as Mirana.
Question is, if Paz Shadow Poisons it, he's outside the pit. He could Shadow Poison it. Instead, they just Shikuchi right, or Invis right on in. They're going to get the Swarm up. A lot of right clicks coming out on Demon, but they don't have detection. So Fear blinks on out. Demon, Shadowblade TPs, but they do end up handing them a free Roshan. Black's going to be able to pick up this Aegis and have essentially 2 free health bars. And that's going to be really nice for him.
See Shikuchi being used by Jarrow to get out of trouble. It did do a lot of damage. In fact, damage is still coming. That tower is getting chipped away very heavily. Down below half health now. Spiderling's doing the work there. I heard a demonic purge being used out down. No, pass falling low. Pass like before. We're going to have the mech heal him up. No, Black has his Lincoln's pop. Fear. Hand of God comes out. It's not enough. Fear goes down. Pass is still in the mix. Somehow still alive. Bambo as well to be dropped. 5v3. Not fair odds at all. Unfortunately, they get jumped there and outnumbered.
Great combo from Paz and Fada. They were able to disrupt the AM and then silence him and then sheep him, and he just burned himself down as far as mana goes. He has skilled up Mana Break to max, and he without even using his ultimate, he didn't have any mana to blink on out, so they just shredded away. They really did a good job bringing down their opposition, and now they have so much right-click. Like, the Vlad's helps, again, but against a Desolator and a Butterfly,
Bottom lane.
lot coming on in. Now Demon on the run. Fata has that gem though, and is just going to try to use one more spell to pursue. First the Blink Dagger. Can he guess Demon's location? He's going to guess west, and unfortunately Demon went north. So Fata won't be able to finish that one off, but they do claim the tier 2 tower, and they just have such control of the map right now.
Yeah, good juke there from Demon. However, the other benefit to the Deso is it increases their ability to push quite a bit, just knock out towers quickly. So they snag a quick tower there. Of course, Broodmother's still dead, not respawning. And I think at this point, like, Fear does not want to fight at all. Like you mentioned, having max mana break, those illusions just wreck him, absolutely shred him, and just really make him so easy to deal with. On top of that, I mean, he's still only got level 1 spell shield as well. I mean, he's so easy from, like, they land a max arrow, like, it's just, he's half his health, it's just gone. Or even if Puck jumps him and double nukes him, he's going to die very, very quickly indeed. As you see, Synderen playing aggressively here, pushing forwards, hoping someone's going to push up and try and nuke down that wave. Meanwhile, though, it seems like most of EG, again, they're looking for that top lane, looking to infest the enemy jungle and just try and make something happen there. Mirana, though, going to Starstorm those Spiderlings and just try and cut down the numbers, but she may be in trouble. Pops the Manta Star.
Don't know why they didn't orc it. Oh, because the Manta. That was why they didn't orc it. So Bambo still has an off cooldown, but Bambo's able to get on out of there. Meanwhile, down on bottom, they pick up a free kill on Demon, who just wanted to defend the tower, and instead gets blinked in and dream coiled up. So they take the kill, and they don't lose anything in turn, and now they're dropping lots of damage on this tier 3 in mid. Jaya will be able to steal up Shikuchi, but even so, this Desolator just doing so much damage to the tower. The Demonic Purge up on Jaya. They're going to try to bring him down quickly, but think better of it, fall back, and finish the job here in the mid.
Yeah, we have BDS, tries to sneak in and deny, it doesn't happen though. Now the question is, how long can they sustain this for? Arrow comes out, not going to hit anything, way off target. They're just going to keep knocking damage into this barracks. I mean, they're doing a fair amount. We've got Manta Style up at 3 seconds as well. The Wildkin's not really going to have any effect here at all. Fortunately, BD is lacking good creeps. Mid-Rax is down, meanwhile bottom Rax still being threatened as well. Tier 3 and below half health. Black's just going to continue chipping away. They'll take that one. Bambo is trying to do something up top, but he's just not fast enough. He's not doing nearly as much damage as these 5 heroes down here. Tier 3 at bottom lane is done. Oh dear. They almost lose Jared, managed to get sent back just in time. However, the tower is down, and the melee barracks going to drop so down quickly. And we've got Synderen now going back to the top lane to stop the push from Bambo. Another port coming in, and then looks like Puck ports in, and he's got vision as well. He's got that gem, cleans up Bambo. All he gets is a tower, trades it for 2 Raxes. And EG in a seriously shitty position here.
Yeah. Scythe of Ice, Vendetta strikes. I mean, they have everything they want. And honestly, they still are pretty comfortable with 3 people sitting inside the Radiant base, even without 2 of their core heroes. So, yeah, going to be able to let that fall back. Pause is going to TP back to safety. They actually have 2 gems right now. Like, they've just been sitting at, keeping on Puck, keeping on Shadow Demon, initiating at every little odd angle, and it's not been too big of a deal. But, yeah, it's just like right now, EG doesn't have a counterattack. The Fear does not have the farm that he needs. He doesn't have Manta. He's actually going like a BKB. He's just under such pressure, and it's just like these are the games that you just wish that you could do it all over from the beginning. But Fear had a really, really bad start, and although that gave Bambo a bit of an opening, with Betas and Bambo not able to lock down the Weaver and in turn actually giving away 2 kills, it's just, no. It's very, very unfortunate for them.
honest feel even if the Weaver like didn't get like this insanely good start and like didn't have the Deso right now, it'd be fine. And of course he's also got 5.2 thousand gold in the bank, so there's that as well. And this is a problem. Prophet cannot split push at all. He's just so vulnerable.
He wasn't pushing. He was trying to gank, but first of all,
Oh.
he can't even remotely take down Nyx's HP or Mirana's HP. And second of all,
That's
Nyx was
confusing.
lurking in the shadows, so.
Yeah, I don't know why he decided he wanted to fight Mirana there, but yeah, this is it. Like I feel like this is the point. Like Broodmother, she's a one-trick pony. They went up there, she did the thing, but like I said, sure she pushed to those towers, but the problem is Fear has been so late to get into this game. She's still trying to find a BKB here, and Mirana, like it just gave her so much room to farm, so much room to get fat. This is exactly what Mousesports. They said, you know what, you can have those 2 towers. We don't give a damn. You can have a fat Broodmother. That's fine. It's not a problem. In fact, she's gone for S and Y. I don't know how I feel about that.
Some bug, apparently.
No,
What?
it's
Oh!
GG anyway.
Well, okay.
What?
He can't cancel it. I think he called GG for go and the auto forfeit.
What?
The auto forfeit, I believe it's supposed to do a countdown.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, obviously they were on the ropes anyways, and they were very, very close to GGing, but he wrote GG in all chat, and I figured this would happen to some pro team with that change. But essentially, the change in the last patch is in a practice game, in a tournament game, whatever, you type GG in all chat, and it's gonna, in 10 seconds, forfeit you. Now, I thought it would provide an option to cancel that in the corner of the screen. Obviously did not, or he would have clicked that. But one way or another, they, as a result of saying GG, whether meaning good to go or whatever, they did end up forfeiting the game. Now, this was a lost game. There was no way for them to come back from it, so I don't think it's the biggest time frame for this to happen. But if any pro player is watching, watch what you type in all chat. Anything that's starting with GG is not a good option for you. So that's actually going to be a rather abrupt end to the game. Nicely done by Mousesports, but a little bit funny by Demon.
Whoops. Yeah, so some drama there, but yeah, I think probably should type start or something instead. Yeah, definitely avoid the G's, but let's roll into game 2.
Indeed. Well then, yeah, Mousesports take it away. Mirana carrying it up. Butterfly, MKB, Mantis style, 628 GPM, compared to Fear, only sitting on Vlad's Battle Fury and an Ogre Club. On top of that, you got a Scythe, you got an Ethereal Blade and Puck, and you have the Desolator and Lincoln's on Weaver. Just so much damage, so much potential to bring all their opponents down, and there really wasn't any coming back from that, no matter how hard EG tried. Going on into Game 2, this is again a best-of-3 series, but EG have a lot of ground to make up considering how much of trouble they had in this game here. Going on into the next one, thanks for tuning in, guys. Sorry about some technical issues on the stream. Should all be worked out from this point on forward, other than some minor overlay issues that are with XSplit specifically. But anyways, that was a rather abrupt end, but we're going to go on to the next one, and it should be more back and forth.
I think this just follows the rule. You don't beat EG. EG beat themselves.
Nice, nice.